Thanks, Tiana. So, next, we're going to discuss a few ways tourism has affected Hawaii during this COVID-19 pandemic. Hawaii should remain on lockdown, and all travel restrictions should be enforced until this threat of COVID-19 diminishes or a vaccine is created. While a good portion of the economy does depend on tourism, the amount of COVID cases in other states and countries should be the larger issue. Tourists should continue the 14-day quarantine rule, and steps should be put in place to enforce it. The CDC recommends quarantining for up to 14 days. This is due to the incubation period of the virus. Evidence has shown with recent lockdown how effective quarantine is in stopping the spread of the virus. While the lockdown was in effect, there was a drastic decrease in COVID 19 cases. I believe these results speak for themselves. While no one really knows when this pandemic will end, we must all continue to do our part to ensure that it doesn't get any worse. Tourists visit Hawaii for multiple reasons, one being the abundance of natural wildlife and beaches. However, therein lies the problem. Constant environmental abuse, such as pollution and overcrowding of the oceans and beaches, have left Hawaii a shadow of its former self. Much of the traffic, pollution, overcrowding in Hawaii is all due to tourism visiting the state. With tourism slow, the very attractions that they seek have a chance to recover from these decades of abuse. We already see evidence in the wildlife rebounding stronger than ever because of the lack of tourists. I believe these guidelines have been put in place for a simple reason: they work. So when tourists ignore our experts' advice and constantly violate the quarantine rules, this really shows a lack of respect for our islands.